guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Irene and I'm a registered dietitian, and today we are doing a healthy snack taste test, or at least these are supposed to be healthy snacks. I went to my local grocery store and just went down the health foods aisle and picked out a bunch of snacks that were there, and today we're gonna taste them and see whether or not they actually are healthy. So there's a couple of things here that I have heard of before and also things that I haven't, but these are all snacks that I haven't tried before, or at least these specific like products. I have tried like the Simple Mills crackers, but these are these new cheese puffs, or I guess pop-ums or whatever. I've not tried these before. So we're gonna try all of them and see whether or not they fit the bill of being a healthy snack. In terms of what I consider a healthy snack, I want something that is not too processed and also is balanced in terms of the macronutrients and just what is in it. I don't want something that is gonna provide like 60% of my daily needs of saturated fat. I don't want something that is going to be super high in sodium or something like that. I want something that's more balanced. It's got all three of the macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fat to keep me satiated, and relatively low in sodium, relatively low in added sugars. So those are the parameters. I feel like there's like a lot going on here, so let me just move everything out of the way and we will try everything like one by one. So we're gonna start off with some things that I am more familiar with. So first up we have Simple Mills. I have tried their crackers before. They're available at Costco and they are so addicting. Like, I don't know what spices or whatever, actually I do know because they put it on the boxes, but it's just so addicting and so yummy. What I do like about it is that they use great ingredients. So these are like all things that I could buy at the grocery store. So if I really wanted to, I could probably make this at home. It wouldn't be exactly the same. I would say that this is definitely on the less processed side, which I am happy about. Overall, I would say that this is like a pretty standard snack in terms of like macronutrients for any sort of cracker thing. Obviously, I would love to have more protein, but I feel like when you're comparing this to like a Cheez-It or something like that, this is pretty comparable and has better ingredients. So here are the pop-ums. They look and smell pretty tasty. So I don't know what I was expecting, but I feel like I was expecting a little bit more of like a Cheez-It or Goldfish consistency, where like it has that snap and it's like crunchy, but it's also a little bit soft, if you know what I mean. If you like crunchy foods, I feel like this is potentially a snack for you. In terms of the flavor, I do feel like it tastes pretty close to like a regular cheesy snack. You can taste that it's baked rather than, I don't know what Cheez-Its or how Goldfish are made, but it's got that taste that like a baked chip does. And then something else I noticed while I was looking at the back of this box is that it says that in each serving you'll get a 1/3 cup equivalent of veggies, because it contains butternut squash and red bean, which are veggies. So that's also really cool too. It's hard to get a veggie into like a snack, and this, I really can't taste the butternut squash at all. I feel like Steven will really like these and will definitely be munching on them. Next up we have Hippies, which I have had these before, but I have had their puffs, and I guess I didn't realize that they had come out with chips. So this is the Nacho Vibes chip, which I feel like they were trying to emulate Doritos, because the other one was like almost like a Cool Ranch flavor. I'm not a Cool Ranch person, so I picked the nacho flavor. And in terms of the nutrition, this is definitely a little bit more balanced, I think, from the chickpeas. It has a little bit more protein and a little bit more fiber. Ingredients wise, everything actually looks pretty similar to the Simple Mills, so I think that these are also another great, less processed alternative to like a regular Doritos chip. So let's go ahead and try these. Of course, like only half of the bag is full. Smells definitely like a bean chip. So the nacho flavor is definitely interesting. It's a little bit more sweet than I kind of want it to be. It's been a while since I've had a Dorito, so I can't remember what that seasoning and flavor really tastes like, but I feel like this tastes more sweet. You can definitely taste a little bit of the hint of beans, but it also does still have a little bit of the tortilla flavor as well. And I think it's because there is white corn flour and yellow corn flour in here, so kind of a mix of chickpeas and corn flour, so it's not super overpoweringly like bean. In terms of the texture though, it doesn't quite have that same snap that a typical like Dorito or more processed chip would have. I don't know if it's because it's thicker or if it's just like the ingredients of the chip. So for our third snack, we have this like air puff corn. I don't really know what this is. I just saw someone grab it in the grocery store, so I was like, well, I guess it must be good, right? It also claims that it is better than popcorn. I love popcorn. I am a not popcorn connoisseur, but I love eating popcorn. It is like my snack of choice. I just like how it's like nice and airy, and you know, it's good to snack on, especially for a mindless snack sometimes, which I do when I'm like working on something. In terms of the nutrition facts, it's kind of like a pretty regular snack, and I don't think I said this before, but pretty much for all snacks, the serving size is about 1 ounce or 28 grams. So we're all on even playing fields here in terms of comparison from snack to snack. I don't feel like this is anything special really. I'm trying to figure out why someone would buy this instead of like just buying regular popcorn. I actually have some Skinny Pop here at home, so let's just like compare. So in terms of like the same serving size, it's 28 grams. Calories, it's like 160 to 150. There's more saturated fat in the puff corn. Like they're fairly similar. Let's go ahead and try this. I got the classic flavor because I just like plain popcorn, honestly. So it's got an interesting smell to it. I don't know. It smells almost a little bit sweet. It's very light and it's just like a puff, which is really interesting. So it's like a cheese puff almost, except made with corn and flavored like popcorn a little bit. It's like one of those that just kind of melt in your mouth. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a puff, you know? I don't know if I like this better than popcorn. Clearly, I can't stop eating it. Like, I think I'm just like very intrigued by it because it's an interesting like mouthfeel. I could see how someone would like this over like regular popcorn. The flavor is like good though. It's like regular popcorn flavor. This is a really interesting snack and I probably will be eating more of this. Next up, we have these Rice Work gourmet rice snacks. These are, I guess, just like chips but made with rice instead. Fairly standard macronutrient distribution. The ingredients include rice blend, which is like parboiled brown rice and coarse white rice, ground white corn, sunflower oil, brown rice, cornstarch, and sea salt. So fairly minimally processed, which I like. Got 17 grams of whole grains per serving, and it is vegan and celiac friendly. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see what this is about. Here are the chips. Again, bag half full. This definitely looks like interesting. It tastes like a cross between like a rice cracker and a tortilla chip, which is basically what it is because it has these same ingredients. Like it has the rice and it also has like the corn. I am not sure why someone would want specifically to get this over a regular tortilla chip because I feel like a regular tortilla chip probably has less ingredients. Like it's just corn and salt, whereas this has like rice in it too. Like what's the purpose of the rice? A regular tortilla chip is also going to be gluten-free as well because there's no gluten in corn, like I just said about the popcorn. I'm not quite sure why someone would buy this, but if you buy any of these snacks and you like enjoy them, please let me know why, because for some of these I feel like I just paid like an extra $2 when there are other like perfectly regular, less processed, similar nutrient value snacks that cost less. I don't know what necessarily makes this healthy, and I think that's also the thing about like foods in the health foods aisle is that sometimes things are there because it actually says that it doesn't have all the top 9 allergens and it says that it's gluten-free and everything. But there are foods also that are naturally gluten-free that don't label themselves as being gluten-free. And also gluten-free does not mean it's healthier, by the way. I feel like the diet got really popularized in recent years, but if you're not celiac or you don't have any like intolerance to gluten, there's no reason why you need to avoid it. So I feel like these snacks that like specifically say that they're gluten-free when the regular version of it, like the regular tortilla chip, is already gluten-free. These are just like marketing scams that are trying to get you to spend more money when you don't have to. Next up, we have a cracker. So this is the Fit Joy cracker. It says that it is grain-free and dairy-free. So if you have, I guess, a dairy allergy, these are maybe an option that you might want to consider. Although I haven't like looked at the label of like a Ritz cracker to see what the ingredients are and what is in it. But in terms of the nutrition facts, so this one does have a little bit of a different serving size. It's only 4 crackers, which is 18 grams, so not quite an ounce yet. 0 protein. Wow. It's kind of hard to have 0 protein. I know they like round numbers to like whole numbers. So like maybe it has, I don't know, like 0.4 grams of protein, but like a lot of foods have like small amounts of protein in them. In terms of the ingredients, this is made with cassava flour. I guess technically this is less processed than a Ritz cracker. A lot of these crackers are kind of crushed. They're also a little bit smaller for sure. Okay, so I do not like these. I guess all of the spices and the different seasonings that they put in here, they like kind of hit my tongue at different times. It wasn't a very cohesive flavor. It was just also kind of odd as well. I think the flavor, like the dairy-free cheese flavor, I am not particularly fond of, and I feel like you could really taste it here. So I did not particularly like these. I will be giving them to Steven to eat. And now I'm really curious, like what are the ingredients in a Ritz cracker? In terms of like ingredients and processedness, I would say that this is like slightly better, but I wouldn't necessarily consider this as being like a healthy snack. It just is a non-dairy cheesy cracker option if you really needed that. And then next up we have another cracker option. So this is Nuff's cracker. I got the everything flavor, no compromise crackers for curious snackers. Delicious by choice, gluten-free by chance. So this seems like another option that is like happens to be gluten-free, and in the case of crackers is not necessarily something that is usually gluten-free because they usually have like flour in it, which does contain gluten. In terms of the nutrition, its ingredients include almond flour, tapioca starch, rice flour, cassava flour, seasonings. I feel like this is fairly similar actually to the Simple Mills in that it uses this uses almond flour and kind of like alternative flours, because I guess the Simple Mills is also gluten-free as well. Kind of like similar ingredients, like they both have tapioca starch in it. I do like the ingredients. These are all things that I have, and I feel like, you know, maybe I could make this at home if I really wanted to. So let's give these a try. They're a bit more pale than I thought they would be. They definitely look more brown on the packaging. So this is a really pasty cracker that we have here. It definitely tastes very nutty. It's kind of like those crackers that are made of like nuts and stuff. Well, I mean, this is made of nuts because it has like almond flour in it, but I think it's okay. I feel like it needs to be dipped in something like salsa or something like that. It might taste a bit better. Next up, we have this mushroom jerky. I saw this and I thought that it was really interesting. I am pescatarian, so I don't eat jerky, like beef jerky, but I guess this is an option for my pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan friends. It is gluten-free, soy-free, and vegan. So it's made with king oyster mushrooms, and pretty much all the ingredients on here are things that I would probably have around the house. 5 grams of fiber. Wow, that's quite a bit. So let's go ahead and try these. I'm curious about the flavor of them because I am not a huge fan of mushroom. It looks like these are like fairly small pieces. So it's not like beef jerky where, you know, you've got like strips. They even kind of resemble mushroom. So I think the flavor is there, but the texture is not quite the same. It's definitely more chewy. I guess beef jerky is chewy as well, but it's a different kind of chewy. Like this is a soft chewy, but the flavor is pretty good. And I would say that this for me is a healthy snack. It's got great macronutrient distribution. I'm actually surprised. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be because it's made of mushrooms, but it definitely has more protein than some of the other snacks that we've had today. So I feel like these are a good option. Definitely worth checking out and trying. And I think that we've made it to the sweet portion of this video. First, I have this Good Eatin' popcorn. I got the cookies and cream flavor, which I just thought was interesting. I think the thing that puts this in the like healthy living aisle is that it is plant-based. I guess a lot of popcorns, they have like butter and different things that have dairy in it. So this is like an option for any vegan friends or anyone with like a dairy allergy. In terms of the nutrition facts, got 5 grams of saturated fat, 13 grams of added sugar, and the ingredients, the first ingredient is white coating, which is made up of sugar, palm kernel oil, natural flavor, sunflower lecithin, and salt. So basically the first ingredient in here is sugar, which I don't love. Let's go ahead and try it. It does smell very sweet. It does look very cookies and cream-ish. I mean, it tastes good, but when you have 13 grams of added sugar per serving, I'd be surprised if it didn't taste good. I feel like this snack is one of those that is only in the health foods aisle because it doesn't have some ingredient. And I feel like that's one of my problems with things being considered like healthy is like they're healthy because they follow some sort of dietary pattern that we have determined is healthier. In this case, it's a vegan popcorn. I'm not saying that a vegan diet is necessarily healthy or unhealthy, but I feel like a lot of people perceive it to be one way. You can be a vegan and eat a very healthy diet, but you can also be a vegan and eat a very unhealthy diet, because if you were a vegan and you're eating things like this every day, not super healthy. This I would not say is necessarily a healthy snack, but if you are someone that needs a plant-based option, I guess you would buy this. I don't know. For our second to last option, we have this Unreal dark chocolate peanut butter cup. So I've seen this brand at Costco all the time. I think what is special about it, I guess, is that they have less sugar, or at least they have less sugar than a regular peanut butter cup. So in terms of the nutrition facts, it is 80 calories, which is the same as a regular like Reese's peanut butter cup. It's got 3 grams of saturated fat, which is actually more than a Reese's peanut butter cup. 5 grams of added sugar. The Reese's cup has 7.5 grams of added sugar, and what is the claim that's on here? 36% less sugar than the leading nut butter cup. So I guess that is accurate. In terms of the ingredients, it's got dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate, which is in the Reese's cup, and pretty much everything else on the ingredients label is things that I would expect to see in like a candy. You know, it needs like emulsifiers, and it needs sugar, and it needs peanuts. Let's go ahead and try these. They come individually packaged. These are for sure smaller than a regular Reese's peanut butter cup though, and I am very disappointed. If you were actually comparing it like side by side, like gram for gram, I don't know that it would be that much better than like a regular Reese's peanut butter cup. This is, I feel like, for sure smaller than a usual Reese's peanut butter cup. What is this inside? The inside filling is so strange. So I like that it has dark chocolate as the chocolate source, because I just like dark chocolate in general. I feel like milk chocolate is a bit too sweet for me. What's interesting is that the inside peanut butter is like, it's like whipped almost. It's like a whipped peanut butter filling. The structural integrity of this is not quite the same as a Reese's peanut butter cup, because I feel like this chocolate here is like hardened. I feel like it tastes good. I'm missing a little bit of the peanut flavor. The ratio is like maybe a little bit off. I mean, like it's a good like little dessert after a meal or something like that. Okay, I brought Steven in for the last taste test because this one is something that I can't eat. It's the wild protein chip, and this one is made with chicken breast, egg whites, and chicken bone broth. Steven has already had this before, but he wanted me to buy it, and that's why we did. In terms of the nutrition facts, so it is like lower on the carbohydrate side, 10 grams of protein, which is really awesome. I feel like it's hard to get that many grams of protein. The only one that I like think of is like the Quest chips, which I feel like those are pretty processed. Have you had this flavor before?
Yes.
Oh wow, I never looked at what the chips look like.
They look like chips.
No, they look kind of weird.
What do you mean? They look like normal chips to me.
I feel like these are definitely like a healthier option for a high protein chip, especially compared to some of the options out there on the market. So for the final rating, I'm gonna split things up into 3 categories. So we've got a healthier option, a neither healthier nor unhealthier option, and an unhealthier option. So simple meals, I would say that this is definitely a healthier option because it's got veggies in it and the ingredients list is also less processed. Hippies, I feel like this is trying to be be a tortilla chip, which it is not necessarily any healthier than a tortilla chip. It doesn't quite have all the benefits that a bean chip would have, like the Beanitos, where it has more fiber and more protein. It just kind of is, it is what it is, and it's got corn in it. So this is neither healthy nor unhealthy. Like Air Puffs, I would say that these are kind of the same as well. It's similar to popcorn, but it's not necessarily any more or less healthy because popcorn itself is already pretty minimally processed. So this kind of also falls into this middle category here. Rice snacks, or these rice chips, I would also say that they fall in this category as well. Neither healthier nor unhealthier, because it's trying to be a tortilla chip, and tortilla chips aren't super processed. FitJoy crackers, so these I honestly would say that they also fall in this category. They're not necessarily healthier than a regular snack. They've still got a ton of ingredients, some of which are, you know, the same ingredients that you find on a regular cracker. We've got our Nuffs crackers. These, I feel like I would consider them to be a healthier option. They've got less processed ingredients in them. These mushroom jerky are also healthier because it's got some dietary fiber as well as a little bit of protein. It's just like the added benefit that it also happens to be vegan friendly. We've got our wild chips, which I want to say that these will fall in the healthy category just because I like that they have a good amount of protein in them. Good eaten popcorn. So this is actually the only one that I'm going to put in the unhealthier option. Probably for the flavor of it is unhealthier rather than the actual product itself. Maybe if I got like a regular just like sea salt popcorn, it would kind of fall in this category, but for the flavor alone and like the ingredients, I'm gonna have to say that this is an unhealthier option. And then these Unreal peanut butter cups, I do feel like this is a healthier option purely because it has less sugar. I also like that it used dark chocolate instead of like milk chocolate. So for our final rankings, we have 5 of the snacks were healthier options, 4 were neither healthier nor unhealthier, and 1 was an unhealthier option. And I feel like this just goes to show that not everything in the health foods aisle is necessarily healthier, or not everything at a health food store is necessarily healthier, because I feel like a lot of the foods there are simply there because A, they're not mainstream yet, because like, you know, I've never heard of these crackers before. B, they probably just have labeling that says that it doesn't include XYZ. So like either it doesn't include dairy, it doesn't include gluten, it doesn't have any GMOs in it, or it doesn't have any preservatives or additives or whatever. There are foods that are similar that fall in the same category that naturally don't have these things, but just because they're not labeled that way, I feel like they don't get put in the health foods aisle, and they are not necessarily thought of as being healthier. A lot of things have to do with marketing, and they also mark up the prices of these as well when they don't necessarily need to be more expensive. There are other more affordable options that can be healthy. We should still be looking at the food labels and thinking more critically about whether or not something is necessarily healthy. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Let me know what snacks you have tried and which ones are your favorite healthier snacks. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.